I think exactly that. It's a framework. It's a framework to work towards. It's a framework to use in terms of everybody having the shared language and a shared understanding and a shared vision in terms of expectations. I think it, in terms of pathway 1, when the teacher is responsible for the children's learning, it gives them a really clear guide to work through. So when a teacher has a concern, sometimes it's difficult to identify exactly what that concern is and what to do about it. So the circle framework gives them the opportunity to evaluate that child and to identify what the key issues are, and from that make appropriate targets. Because the circle document is such a practical guide, it gives them relevant strategies, and it gives them the how to use it rather than just what to do, so that the teacher is empowered to say, you know, these are the targets we're working towards, these are the challenges that this child has, and this is what is in place to support that child. From a management point of view, that then gives us a, dare I use the word, paper trail. It gives us evidence of what's been tried. It gives us evidence of what's worked. And we can use that, be it to share with other members of staff in terms of transition, with parents in terms of, you know, explaining to them what's been put into place and what's worked. And also, should we need to move beyond pathway 1, evidence to explain, you know, what hasn't worked, and therefore what our next steps would be in terms of pathway 2 and additional support out with the classroom. Using the scale at the beginning of the year gives teachers a really clear picture, again, of what is expected, but also of how they can set up their environment to maximise the opportunities and minimise the barriers for learners. And again, because it's on a scale, it identifies what works and what doesn't work. And it also gives them a chance to think not just about the physical environment, but about the social environment and things like peer interactions, you know, and maybe some other, you know, issues around social interactions. It gives them a chance to focus on that from the beginning. We go into the classroom within the first 2 or 3 weeks of term using the same guide and evaluate the classroom. It's a really good monitoring tool because it means that we can have a shared language. It means that we have an agreed level expectation across the school. And in terms of, you know, management and moderating that, because it is a shared language and a shared expectation, although the classroom environments are individual to the needs of the children, the language that is used and the almost the depersonalising of it by using this framework means it's not about your classroom and your setup, it's about the needs of the child. And in terms of meeting needs, and it also means when you're having a dialogue with the class teacher, it's not a personal conversation, it's not about your classroom, it's about the needs of the children, and having a conversation around the circle document to make sure that, you know, in terms of the scale rating, we are maximising every opportunity and minimising the barriers.